called this song one of his most original. He wanted to reach a more mature audience and did so. So why were the lyrics misunderstood by some people? Father Figure, released December 28, 1987, written and recorded by George Michael. So it's early 1987 and George is working on what would be his colossal debut album, Faith. He had spent 5 years as the lead singer of the popular duo Wham. Tremendously successful, but of course, as we all know, especially in the music industry, success comes with a price. There they are, Michael and Andrew Ridgeley in their early 20s, and critics consistently write them off as a teeny bopper act. They come out with the huge ballad Careless Whisper, a song George wrote when he was 17, but he ended up not liking it, declaring that it was not a deep or meaningful reflection of his artistic development. He was surprised by how strongly it resonated with listeners, but he wrote it quickly and he wasn't proud of it. Now George wants autonomous control, which includes upgrading his image in an attempt to appeal to a more mature audience. Writing Father Figure in the studio, George intends the song to be a dance track. However, during production, George removes the rhythm track and transforms Father Figure into a slower, more atmospheric ballad, giving it a sort of dreamy quality. While musically, the song has a sensual, romantic, and even spiritual tone, George describes the lyrics as having themes of love, protection, and intimacy, emphasizing a deep emotional connection. George once said that his own relationship with his father was adversarial and strained. Jack never thought that his son would make it as a singer and told him. He also detested certain lifestyles. That put a wedge between father and son. So when one listens to Father Figure, one could probably interpret that as George wanting that figure for himself, as well as wanting to be the one that fulfills that role for someone else. In interviews, he said that Father Figure could be interpreted in different ways, but that he intended to focus on the complex dynamics of love and dependence in adult relationships. Father Figure debuts on the US Hot 100 at 49, but tops the chart a month and a half later and stays there for 2 weeks. It's widely regarded as one of George's best works, praised for its mature songwriting, emotional delivery, and exceptional production. As with many hit songs, Father Figure sparks conversation. Some listeners understand Father Figure to be a song in which George presents himself as a father figure for someone who is in the closet. George was not yet publicly out as gay in 1988, but people pretty much knew. Other listeners, apparently not big fans of George, connected the lyric, "Put your little tiny hand in mine," with the P word. George pretty much ignored that from the time of the song's release until the day he passed away, continuing to tell folks that Father Figure is a song of protection, being there for someone in need. To me, the song's lyrics are brilliant, vocals by Shirley Lewis, and of course the ending, which makes me feel like I'm in some exotic temple somewhere. Magnificent ballad. George left us on Christmas Day 2016, but not before leaving a marvelous body of work. He, along with Prince and Michael Jackson and Madonna, ruled the 1980s. Up-tempo dance tracks or ballads, there was simply no one like George. He was great at playing different instruments, and he always gave it up to the legends who came before him. He was a one-of-a-kind. Father Figure by George Michael.